right? For this edition, we've also launched We've also launched the eMigr8 Visa Landscape 2023. So if you want that, we can share the link with you if you want to go through how 2023 went with respect to the landscape of the tech landscape, with respect to relocation, settlement, technology generally. We can share the links with you, right? Remember, our focus is targeted towards tech enthusiasts, tech entrepreneurs, tech professionals, C-suite leaders in tech. So if you are any of those persons, or people in this category, you want to extend this invite to them to join the call right away. Right, we're not going to be talking about education here. We're not going to be talking about care routes to any country. So we are focused mainly on tech, right? Tech-enabled visa opportunity. That is our focus. That's all we talk about. Again, we are not lawyers. We just give resource, advisory, support, connect you to coaches, connect you to mentors who has, in one way or the other, gone through the tech-enabled visa pathway for different routes, and they can mentor you, they can share their resources with you, they can share their knowledge with you, and you are able to navigate your own personal journey, right? Of course, we'll curate that to tie in with your personal experiences or the uniqueness of your experience, right? So we have tech-enabled, we have coaches in the house, we have mentors in the house that can walk you through different tech journey. All right. My system is kicked today. All right, fantastic. So previously on eMigr8 Open Day, we have a lot of resources. We've talked about different topics. We have different coaches come to share their experience with us. We've talked about relocation to the US using the O1 visa. We've talked about relocation to Australia. Australia has a global talent visa of their own too. We've talked about move to Canada using the Canada startup visa route. We have these videos on YouTube and on various platforms. So with a simple Google search, you will find us. Please visit those links. Please take advantage of this opportunity to learn from our previous edition. Today, we're talking about understanding the UK global talent visa space, what you need to know, what you need to start with, what are the new regulations, if there's any. And if you are familiar with the UK, there's a lot of changes with respect to immigration laws, moving with families, not moving with families. What does the UK global talent visa say about some of these things, right? We will be answering a lot of questions today, right? We are constrained with time, so I advise that if you have questions, please put it on the chat, and we'll get to those questions as fast as possible, right? So if you have questions, you can use the chat room. We have a seasoned coach in the house, in the person of Badi Adesemo, who will be going through understanding the UK global tech visa, right? And if you have questions in the room, you can put it on the chat, right? We have a campaign ongoing, which is settled in the UK as a tech talent. This combines 3 pathways together, right? And this is beginner friendly, and it's also very friendly to expat. It allows you to move with your spouse. So the recent UK laws around moving with your spouse or not moving with dependent does not affect this particular route. It also allows you switch visas. So if you're already in the UK and you're looking at which of the packages can I leverage on to switch my visa, these allows you to switch visas. What you need is time and a bit of equity investment that is required, right? And in the space of 3 to 6 months, we have a guarantee short line that you would switch your visa, or you can move to the UK with your business, with your family, with your idea, or you can move as alone, right? So that package is currently ongoing, right? And if you're in the room and you're looking at something like that with so much guarantee, you want to go to eMigr8visa.com. eMigr8 with an 8, then with the figure 8, then visa.com is currently on the screen. So you want to go there straight away. right? The next edition of eMigr8, we do eMigr8 once a month, right? And this is where we share resources, we share information, open information. We bring speakers who have success stories around migration or migrating to the platform to share their journey, to share their story, to inspire people and share a lot of information. So we do this every month. The next edition will be focused on the UK Innovator Founder Visa route. And we subsequent edition will be looking at move to UK, so a session on UK Technation Global Talent Visa also, similar to what we're going to be discussing today, but from a different approach. We're going to have a session on move to the US as a global talent, and also a session on move to Canada. So pay attention to our multimedia, pay attention to our social media platforms and pay attention to your emails. We do send notifications, emails, messages informing our communities who is coming up and what we're discussing next, right? So eMigr8, who are we? What do we do? And why are we here, right? So what is eMigr8? So if you are new in the on the call and you've never been to any of our sessions before, you might be wondering, what is eMigr8? What are they about? What do they do? Why am I here? Right. We'll answer some of those questions and we'll hope that you too can answer most of the questions yourself when we are done. Right. So eMigr8, what we do is we help you become globally attractive. We're a tech-enabled platform that help you become globally attractive. So what we do is we appraise your profile, right? We appraise your tech-enabled business opportunities that you have, your profiles, and we help you position rightly for new markets, for new opportunities, and for relocation. Now, the side effects of presenting you in a globally attractive model, as a globally attractive model, is the fact that you can get visa, as a side effect of that objective. So our main objective is to make it globally attractive so that you have clients, you have interest from multiple countries, and you can choose where you want to go to, right? So that's the eMigr8 platform. And things we do, what can I get from eMigr8? What does eMigr8 cover? What are the things that are unique to eMigr8? We have information sessions. We have general inquiry session like the one we're having today. So today is our open day. It's generally an information session, and you can ask questions on the chat. So that's generally an inquiry session, right? And we also have coaching and hand-holding sessions. We have assessment session where we can check pre-qualification. If you want to apply for a particular visa, we can check and see what's your status, what are your chances of getting those that particular visas. We also have self-directed roadmap to qualify you for a tech-enabled visa. So if you're a beginner and you don't yet have all the requirements, we can have a self-directed roadmap that you can walk through and become globally attractive. Of course, we have a roadmap to a globally attractive tech profile, right? And we also help review UK global talent applications. We help review endorsement process and every other, nomad visas application, work visas application. We help review that. And we do many of these things largely free if you're in our community, right? So I'll talk about our community shortly. So most of these things we do for free. And these are, we have mentors, we have coaches in our communities that sacrifice their time, volunteers their time to walk you through some of your challenges, if you have any, and they're able to unpack any bottleneck that you're having till you become successful, right? So I said we do many of these things free, but we also have a premium package for those of us that are on the call that are maybe for one reason or the other, your circumstances are unique and you cannot be active, or for one reason or the other you want us to pay, you want us to move faster with your application, right? Or you need specific customized services. So we have premium package. The eMigr8 Circle is a premium community. We also have personalized coaching sessions. This is usually between 30 minutes to 1 hour. We have standard packages, where we review application and make introductions. And we also have the eMigr8 premium services, Usually, this is a program that runs for 1 year to 2 years, which are usually beginner friendly, or for individuals that are switching careers, coming into new career field, and you're coming into tech, moving from one career field to another. And of course, we have customized services. Those are paid services, right? And on the eMigr8 community, we are always very available. We have coaches that we need that are, volunteering their time, and they need to be paid for their time. Time is a very expensive commodity, right? So depending on your uniqueness, you can come through the premium service, or you can come in on our open day like this and get all the free information and apply for maybe a coaching session, and we can get through with that. But to begin, I need you to go to beingcom.net/eMigr8. That's where that's how to signify interest. That's how to find us. Then we will take the conversation a bit further. So the eMigr8 packages that we have, right? We've structured internally our coaching system, our mentors, right, to focus on different packages, because different coaches have gone through different routes. There are coaches that have experienced the United States route, they've gone to the UK, others have gone to Canada, so they have different experiences, right? So we have the move to the UK as a global talent that focuses on United Kingdom, and is focusing on the UK global talent, which is otherwise known as Technation endorsement visa, right? And that is what we're going to be talking extensively on today, luckily. But we also have the move to the UK as an innovator founder. As the innovator founder visa, it's focusing again on the UK. We have the move to the US. These are different packages, and we have different resource in-house that we can connect you with that can help you walk through these journeys. So we have the move to the US as a global talent. This is focused on the US O1 visa for individual with extraordinary ability or achievement. And when I usually say this to people, I caveat it to say, every one of us have extraordinary ability and an achievement. All you need to do is to sit down with a coach or somebody who can correctly appraise your journey, and you see that you've done extraordinary things, and you've made some extraordinary mark in your journey, especially if you're an expert already, or a C-suite leader already. We can work with you to land that O1 visa. We also have moved to Canada as a startup founder. So if you have a business that you think will benefit North America, and you want Canada to be your base, right? And so we have the resources, we have the network and partnership that will help you move your business and services to Canada. It just has to be tech-enabled business and startup, right? So we have also moved in 2024. This focuses on different digital nomad visas across the UK, US, and European countries like France, Germany, Portugal, Spain. They have different nomad visas, and we have coaches who have experience in those paths. Depending on the uniqueness on your circumstance, we can be able to point you in the right direction on how to go about that. Then we have the traditional tech-enabled visa pathway for work which is focused in the UK. If you need certificate of sponsorship for work around tech, then we have setting in the UK as a tech talent. So these are all different packages, and depending on where you are on your journey, we are able to put you in front of the right mentors, the right coaches, and put you in front of the right resource to move you from point A to where you want to be, right? At eMigr8, we have an extensive communities across multiple channels. Now, we don't do this alone. Every other weekday or every other month, we come here and we share free information. But there's a lot of work that goes into even these sessions behind the scene, and this work is done by our community. Now, we have WhatsApp community, we have Telegram community. These are very active community, Facebook community, LinkedIn community, quite very active community. And I encourage everyone to be in this community, because you can ask questions anytime during the day in those communities, and you find answers. You can tag team with somebody that is on the same journey with you, and share resources and share experiences with those, and you will get value for just being in those communities. So, and there are coaches in the community that can answer your questions when you ask. I would just plead with you to always engage in the community. So if you're in a community and you're quiet, you probably will not get the best of it. But if you're in a community and you're engaging, you're sharing your thoughts, you're helping people to answer questions, and you're asking the right questions, would definitely, there are a lot of people that have gotten free gifts in the community by just asking questions. They've gotten free coaching sessions and free roadmap sessions by being active. So I will encourage everyone. And for those of us that are going to stick to the end of the presentation, I have a community I have a gift for you guys. So not personally the community have a gift for you, right? So if you stick to the end, we would share the gift that the community have for you. But I will share the link to these various communities, but I will first of all say that the WhatsApp community is a closed community. However, the Telegram community and the Facebook community are very active and they're open. The LinkedIn community likewise are active and they're open. They're free for anybody to join. And we move people from the free community, which the open community like Telegram, to WhatsApp on request. So you might not be able to join directly today, but if you join the Telegram community, we are able to move you to the WhatsApp community. It's a little bit more private and that community. Now, eMigr8 is incubated by a company called Bincom, all right? Bincom Dev Center. And at Bincom Dev Center, we are incubating a lot more company. Bincom Dev Center is a technology hub that has incubated a lot of companies, right? And currently, some of the companies I'm going to be sharing with you are those companies that are focused on making you globally attractive, right? So one of them is the Bincom Global Tech Program, rather. The Bincom Global Tech Program, right? This is a program that is suitable for beginners and intermediate people within the tech ecosystem. If you're a tech enthusiast, you're just coming into the community, right? This is a fantastic program that you should join. It's a 1 to 2 year program, right? And that guarantees you opportunity to learn skill, right? Whether you're looking at data science, you're looking at Java, you're looking at front end, DevOps, we have all stack in-house, right? It's an opportunity for you to learn skills. It also gives you an opportunity to gain experience because you're going to be working on real life projects, right? Projects and programs and platforms that people are already using or they are working on. Those are the platform you're going to work on. And the effect of that is that you're going to gain exposure and get more confident as a techie, right? Or as a developer or as a programmer or as a DevOps engineer, right? So we'll put you in front of those opportunities. To start or to join this community, please go to bincom.net/global tech, right? It's prime for beginners, it's prime for intermediate level programmers, and it's targeted at both beginners, intermediate, and even experts in the room who want to brush up their skills or learn new skills in a different field, right? We also have Become a Tech Talent. Now, this is a platform, or this is a package where we offer tech trainings, right? It's a paid platform. We offer tech training, we offer tech career coaching service. We offer tech entrepreneurship with companies in the United Kingdom. What we offer is tech entrepreneurship referees and reference with companies in the United Kingdom and other benefits that we have within the tech ecosystem. So this is a paid service for £1,000 for a 3 months cohort, right? So if you're interested in this, please send a WhatsApp message to the numbers on the slide, or you can go to bincom.net/global tech to register for this package. It's called Become a Tech Talent. So this is actually focused on intermediate and experts in the room who are looking for opportunities in the United Kingdom, right? So if you're looking for opportunities in the United Kingdom as a junior developer or as a senior developer, right, we have this package for you. Other services also include our mentorship platform. Now, the beauty of mentorship is that for every tech, or for most tech visa platforms that you apply through, whether you're looking at the US or you're looking at Canada, you're looking at the UK or even Australia, they pay attention to things like mentoring. Have you mentored people before? Are you a mentor? And you score good points for being a mentor. Right, so this platform gives experts in the rooms and leaders in the room an opportunity to mentor mentees and get that attached to their portfolio, their CV. But it also gives room for the newbies in the room, the mentees in the room to connect to mentors. So it's a platform that connects you as a mentor to a mentee and connect you as a mentee to a mentor. So if you are in any of these category, if you're a mentor, you don't have time to give back to the society and you want to mentor somebody, right, in your field, specifically in your field of expertise, right, we have this platform, the Bincom mentoring platform, right, that you can connect with, right, and we will connect, and you can add that to part of your CV or part of the documentation you're submitting for job interviews or for relocation purposes, right? We also have Last by Bincom. So this is targeted at if you're already in tech and you are in services or you're in consulting and you haven't built a digital-led product fully before, you've not been a part of a team that have built a digital product before, this gives you an opportunity to do that. And most of the visa opportunity you'll find are looking for individuals who have actually built actual products. You have built actual digital products. Now, at Last by Bincom is a 3 to 6 month program where you have different cohorts and you come together in a cohort to build a startup from scratch, from ideation to market research and to scaling and go to market, right? Also to go to market and scaling, right? So this is a good way for you to build a product, and you can add that to your portfolio as a for job, if you're looking out for job, and you can add that as your portfolio and submit for relocation purposes. So this gives you a first-hand experience of building a product or building a startup, right? The cohorts are between 3 to 10 people with diverse skills. So we try to put people with diverse skills in the room. So you have a product manager, you have a graphic designer, you have a back-end developer, a front-end developer. Within the room, you have a user experience manager who can go to the field, and pull them together and come together with an idea and build an idea or build a solution that is solving a problem in our community. Now, that's, again, you can, like I said, you can put that in your CV as a profile for job or your portfolio, and you can use that for relocation purposes. Most visas route for tech will ask you, what product have you built in your ecosystem? So this is actually one product that you want to, or one of the platforms that you want to take advantage of to build a new product. Now, so bincom.net/labs is where you want to go to register to join the next cohort, right? If you've built the product before, you can also build the next. You can keep building product. So this opportunity exists for everybody, whether you're a newbie, you're an expert in the room, whether you're in services, whether you're in tech service, or tech consultancy. This is a platform that you want to leverage on, right? The tech career coaching service. This is a paid platform on Bincom Dev Center, right? And this helps you to land your next role faster, right? And this helps you to connect to relevant experience in your target country. So, for example, if you want to move or get a job, in the United Kingdom, we have people in the United Kingdom with expertise. We have partnership, so people that can put you in the room and we can put you in the room with, and they will give you resources that you can leverage on to either sharpen your skill sets, sharpen your CV. Remember, our objective is to make you globally attractive, right? And we can connect you to tech recruiters and also jobs with work visa sponsorship. I have to specify this is for tech. So if you're in the health space or in the education space and you're looking for certificate of sponsorship, we are not in that field. This is for tech. So if you're looking at job with work visa sponsorship in tech, right, we have coaches that can handhold you and walk you through the process. So it's called the Tech Career Coaching Service. So if you go to bincom.net/tech career coaching, and register, it's a very short form, right? Register and we can get in touch with you and book a slot with you to have a conversation with one of the coaches, and they can advise you appropriately. Right. So I've talked about the different packages that we have. This slide just shows you the breakdown of those packages. This is not an exhaustive list, but however, we have it, more broken down, in a more detailed fashion here. So if you look at the UK, look at the US, and look at Canada, we have the different visas opportunity that is tied related to tech or that is tech focused on this slide. So you want to take a picture or a screen grab of this and just look at it and do your various research on this visa route and ask yourself which one best suits my experience. So for example, in the UK, we have startup. For startup, we have innovator founders visa, right? For talent, we have the global talent visa. For work and employment base, we have the skilled workers route. For temporary or nomad visa, we have the international agreement or temporary work visas for the UK. We also have that again broken down for the US. For talent, we have the O1 individual with extraordinary ability visa. For work, we have the EB1 and EB2 H1 visa for the US. For Canada, we have the startup visa for startup. We have the global talent stream for Canada. We have the temporary workers program for Canada also, and the Canada temporary permit. And these are various pathways that we can put you in front of a coach with, put you in front of a mentor, and expose you to the various resources that are in public domain, right? So again, we are not lawyers. We are not immigration lawyers. We have this platform and we have this connection and we have good success rates in doing this over the years. So we have enough information to be able to point you in the right direction, right? So, and also for French visa, we have the French, for startup, we have the French visa, tech visa for founders. So if you have a startup in Nigeria or in Kenya or in Ghana, and you want to move that to France, there's something called the French tech visa for founders. For talent, we have the French tech visas also for talent, right? So we have these various visa opportunities for people in tech that want to move across different geography. If you're in the UK, you want to move to US, of course, we have the O1 visa. If you're in the UK, you want to move to Australia, we have the Australian Global Talent Visa, right, for Australian. And we have the Business Innovation and Investment Visa. So spend time, look through these visas opportunity, do your own research, all right? And before you come up with your questions and think, and we are always here to help clarify where you have bottleneck, where you have questions. We're here to clarify it for you. And this session, we're going to be clarifying information around global talent visa, right? We'll be talking extensively around global talent visa. Now, if you look at this sheet that this slide I'm just displaying, what is the common denominator? Why would the UK give you a visa? Why would Canada give you a talent visa? Why would the US give you a talent visa? Or why would Australia give you a talent visa? Is because the common denominator across this visa route is that you are globally attractive, right? If you are attractive, if your profile is attractive, if you have a CV that is attractive, if you have a resume or a business or a startup business that has the right numbers, right? They have the right projection. These companies will issue you visas to come into their ecosystem and be productive, right? So that is the common denominator. And that's what we're trying to achieve at eMigr8. That's why we have this platform. That's why we have this session every other month to be able to give you information that can position you rightly to becoming globally attractive. In eMigr8, the visa opportunity will focus on largely our pathway to settlement. So if you're looking to settle in the UK, you're looking to settle in the US, these are pathway to settlement, especially now that there are a lot of changes in other visa routes with respect to settlement and dependent. These visa routes are very stable and they allow you to move with your family and they are beginner friendly, right? So again, we focus only on tech-enabled opportunity. We discuss in depth in previous open days on different of visa routes. So you can go back online on YouTube and you find those videos. You can binge on them. This is not an exhaustive list of what we are doing and why we're here, right? But this just to give you an idea of why this session is holding, right? Now available, we talked about the 2023 eMigr8 Tech enabled visa landscape. What are the new visa landscape that came out in 2023? What are the new information around this visas opportunity? In 2023, the UK merged startup visa and innovator visa, and that came up, and they merged it to become the innovator founder visa, right? I think in April 2023. So those changes, right? What does that mean? What are the new implication of all those? We have that on the link, and I will share the link with you guys, right? If you have the time, you can go through and understand what I've gone through, and you can project with that based on what was done in 2023. You can have an idea of what is coming in 2024, right? So if you're in the room and you're like, oh, how do I qualify? Do I qualify, or I don't yet qualify for this route? I'm just a beginner. What is global talent? Am I talented? You have all these questions, right? In your those are the kind of things that are holding you back. Thank you for joining. We have our coach in the house, Bade, who would take it over from here and who will share on understanding the UK Global Talent Visa, right? So he's going to be sharing from how to begin, what you need to have, and what are the requirements and the criteria that are available today, right? Like I said, we are not yet out of time, but time usually is not our friend in these sessions. So you want to quickly put your question as he's going through his presentation in the chat room, right? So that we can pick it and answer them as fast as we can with the time that we have for today. So, all right. Thank you, Bade, for joining. Right. And I believe you're ready for us.
Yes, I am. Thank you for having me, Moody, and thank you for that introduction. It gave a very important and fantastic overview of what we do here at the eMigr8 platform. Yeah. Thank you for joining us to everyone on the call. I will be taking over from here and I will be sharing some insights and some information as regards the UK Global Talent Visa for the field of digital technology, also known as the Technation visa. Right. But just to get a feel of those of us in the room, could you drop in the chat to let us know which one of this category you fall into? Philly, my slides will go through.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. All right. So which one of this category do you fall into? I would like to know, and that also gives us an idea of what to focus on during this session. And as Moody has said, this is an informational session. We're hoping you would have questions, and we will be able to answer your questions, as many of them as possible. So what category do you fall under? Are you somebody that you are not familiar with the Global Talent Visa at all? You're just hearing that visa exists. You're not sure what it is, and then you can put one in the chat. Or you're already familiar with the visa. You are planning to apply sometime soon, and you're already thinking about how you would be doing your application. You can put two in the chat. If you are somebody that you're currently preparing your application at the moment, right, you can put three in the chat. And then if you are somebody that has just been recently endorsed, we have some of our community members recently endorsed. I see you on the call as well. You can put four in the chat, and you're probably wondering what next, because eMigr8 platform focuses on, yes, tech talent visa, but we are looking at the end-to-end journey of the tech talent visa. So we're looking at from when you discover the visa, inspiring you to know that you would qualify if you just planned and started working towards it, to the point when you start your application process and your application journey. And we have a number of handholding services for that. And many of the things we do for free. I saw somebody asking a question in the chat, and we'll get to it. Many of the things we do for free. And we run a freemium model. That's the reason why. Also, if you are moving to the UK, we do have a couple of services available for you as well. We've got something called Welcome Party, which is a guide for you as a talent moving to the UK, for example. So you can drop in the chat what category you do fall under, and it will be really exciting to know exactly where you do fall. Now, what I will be doing today is that I will be sharing information for all category of people, right? So regardless of what category you are, you will get some information from this session that would be useful for you as regards your journey towards being globally attractive, your journey towards being endorsed as globally attractive, and your journey towards moving from your home country to a new country. We'll be sharing information across all of these categories of people, but I'm just taking a look at the chat. So I see ones, twos, threes. I see some direct messages as well. Yeah, thank you for participating in that. It gives us a good idea of the mix of the people in the room. Today's session, we will focus on starting point as regards the UK Global Talent Visa for the field of digital technology, also known as the Technation visa. And that's going to be our focus during the session. Now, the first thing I will talk about is the fact that the Global Talent Visa itself, there are several versions of the Global Talent Visa. Now, the reason why, and when I say that, what I mean is the fact that the Global Talent Visa exists for different industries. So there's one for academia and research, there's one for arts and culture, and there's also for digital technology, for the field of digital technology. Now, for all of these visa type, what the UK is looking for and why they've made the visas available is that they are looking for people who are either already leaders in their field or they are potential leaders in the field. To say, based on these people's track record, they have shown that, oh, they are leaders, they are dominating their ecosystem, they are doing very well in their ecosystem. And what the UK is saying is that let us bring these people who are doing very well in their own economy. Let's let them come and go to the UK. And when they go to the UK, what they are able to do is that they are able to bring their innovation, they are able to bring their ideas, they are able to bring their talent and so on. And they will be a net benefit to the UK economy. And so they're happy for you as a talent to bring your dependents, your children, your spouse, and so on. They're happy for you to bring everything you do to live, work, and exist in their economy. In fact, with the Global Talent Visa, it's one of the shortest routes to UK British citizenship. If you are endorsed as a leader in the field of technology, within 3 years, you would be able to land what is called indefinite leave to remain in the UK, which is permanent residency, basically. In the UK, it's called indefinite leave to remain. If you are endorsed as a potential talent, you would be able to land your endorsement within, you'll be able to land the indefinite leave to remain within 5 years. And then with an extra 1 year, you can become a British citizen. And so they say it's the gold standard in visas. And part of the reason is because it's one of the shortest routes possible to British citizenship at the moment in terms of the different visas available in the UK. But as I said, this visa is not only available to the field of digital technology. However, for us at eMigr8 platform, we focus on tech talent visas. And so we focus on different visas, as Moody has shared earlier, from different countries of the world. Not just the UK Global Talent Visa in the UK, but then we look at the UK Skilled Worker Visa, we look at the UK Innovator Founder Visa, and so on. But my session today and my focus today, we will be talking mostly about the UK Global Talent visa. Of course, if you have questions as regards any other visa type, you can ask in the chat. It's an open forum. We can answer as many questions as time permits us today. Now, that then brings us to the Technation visa. The Technation visa is actually, the full name for the visa is the UK Global Talent Visa for the field of digital technology. Now, there's an endorsing body for each visa for global talent, because the way it works is that you present your profile as an individual to an endorsing body. You are presenting everything, your criteria and so on, and I'm going to come to the criteria very shortly. You present all of that to the endorsing body to say, hey, I am a talent in the field, or I am an aspiring and I'm a potential leading talent in the field of technology. You present your profile to the endorsing body, and then the endorsing body is able to say, yes, we have reviewed everything this person submitted, and we agree that this person is a leading talent or is a potential, has the potential of becoming a leading talent. For whichever one it is, what then happens is that the endorsing body will give you an endorsement letter. You then use that endorsement letter to go to stage 2 of the visa application. And that stage 2 would be the actual visa application. So if you notice, stage 1 is to an endorsing body. Stage 2 would be to the Home Office. The Home Office is the department in the UK government that manages visas and many other things, but visas as one of them. And so Technation is the endorsing body. The only endorsing body as of today is the only endorsing body for the global talent visa in the field of digital technology. And that's the reason why it is called the Technation visa. Now, in terms of the Technation visa, and as with every other global talent visa, it is available to you because you are showing that you are one of the brightest in your field. And when I say that, sometimes some people switch off because they already write themselves off automatically to say, oh, no, I don't think I am. But the truth is that you are possibly a talent. You are a talent. You may not have shown it today based on the different things I know. You may not meet the criteria today, but the truth is that you can work towards meeting the criteria over a period of time. If you have less than 5 years of experience in the field of technology, we believe that within a 2-year period, even if you have not started your journey in tech at all, you can be endorsed as exceptional promise. That's, you're saying, journey from beginner to endorsement. Now, I say you can because there are many things that you would need to do and many things you need to show for that endorsement to happen. And the criteria is there. We will go through some of it during this time, as much as my time permits. But then the key thing is that you want to go and check that criteria yourself to say, am I building my profile? Am I building myself towards showing myself, as we call it on the eMigr8 platform, towards being globally attractive? Now, this is important because when we do say exceptional talent or exceptional promise, when we do say that, you need to know that, yes, you yourself can be endorsed. Now, for some of us in the room, and we did the poll earlier, you are already qualified. And what you're doing at the moment is that you are putting together your application to show to the assessor, to your assessor, to say you are qualified. Now, a key thing that you need to make sure you do when you are submitting that application, and I will come to that as well, is to make sure that you show how you are the leader. If I put 10, let's say you're a software developer, if I put 10 software developers in the same room, you want to show how you would be top 1 or top 2 of those 10 software developers. So don't just put together your application and just put anything together. Make sure you are telling a story. Make sure you are telling a story of you being exceptional. And when you look at some of the rejections that people get, it's not because they are not qualified. Part of the reason why they get those rejections is because they did not put themselves or package themselves in a way for the assessor to see, hey, this is the type of person that we are looking for. So understand what we're saying, which is that number one is that we want you to become that person that the UK is looking for, a leading talent in the field of technology. And then number two is that if you're already that person, you need to make sure you show yourself as a leading talent in that field of technology. Or if you have less than 5 years of experience, what you want to be able to show is that you are going to become a leading talent in the field of technology. Now, you will see, and what I'm showing, you will see that my presentation, I'm not using slide. Everything I'm showing is in the public domain. We're not offering immigration advice. We are not offering legal advice. What we are doing is that we are sharing information with you based on our experience. We've had many successes with the Global Talent Visa. We have many successes with the Global Talent Visa, and we have many successes across different visa categories as well. And so what we're doing is that we're sharing some of those experiences to be able to help you as an individual, as one of our own contribution to your own development as well. Now, there's something important I want to show in this part of it. For the Technation visa, they are not interested in you if you are a consultant. They are only interested in you if you have been involved in building product-led digital technology. So think of it as startup, think of it as products and all. And this is stemming from the way the UK is seeing itself, because they want to become the fintech capital of the world. They want to become the startup capital of the world. And so what they are saying is that let's bring people who have had experiences building startups in the past. Right. So what that means is that if your day-to-day work has been as a consultant, you built website for 100 different companies and all of that, you would likely not qualify. Now, I did not say you will not qualify, because it's possible that in terms of building some of those things, what you may have done is that you've built a product. You've built a product that you have been able to use for multiple clients and all. You can work with that product to show that this is actually a product that my company is running. You will also likely not qualify if your day-to-day work is as a contractor for a company. Right? So if you are based in the UK and you've been hired as a contractor, it will be difficult for you to qualify directly, because what they think and what they are saying is that if you're a contractor, you are dispensable. They are looking for the people that are the permanent employee within that organization, because they believe that those are the people who are the brains behind the technology, who are the brains behind the startup, who are likely to be able to do it again in terms of building technology that can scale. And because that technology is built in the UK, and because all of those talents that built it are in the UK, the economy of the UK will be better off at the end of the day. So this is important as well in terms of choosing a role. If you are just joining the landscape, right? If you are at the beginner level, it's important of choosing a role. If you are switching careers and changing jobs and stuff like that, this information may be important. But also in terms of some people that have had experience as a consultant, but they have also been building a startup by the side, it's also important for you to understand, oh, which part of my career and which part of my profile should I be projecting as regards the UK Global Talent Visa. The Australia Global Talent Visa is slightly different. For that one, they're interested in if you have a PhD, if you have a master's, and all of that. Their criteria is not so much around product-led digital technology as the UK Global Talent is. It's also important to know that you can be both a technical applicant or a non-technical applicant. So you can be a technical applicant working for a non-technical company. You can qualify, you are eligible. You can also be a non-technical applicant applying from a technical organization. You are eligible. The ones that would not be eligible is you're a non-technical applicant, and then you're applying from a non-technical organization. Most likely, you are not eligible. So when we say tech, be thinking the field of technology. Don't be thinking that we are talking about technical skills alone. And that brings me to this information to say these are some of the skills that are available in terms of people that would qualify typically. So if you're a DevOps engineer, you're a software engineer, backend or front end, full stack, hardware, you will likely qualify. All of these are technical skills. If you are cybersecurity experts, if you are UI, UX, mobile app developer, whatever it is, as long as it's in the field of technology, and as long as it is within a product-led digital technology, you would likely qualify on the technical skill side. And on the business skill side as well. So if you are the business manager, you are the CEO, the business co-founder, the head of sales, you are the product manager, the performance marketing expert, digital marketers, and so on, you would also likely qualify for the UK Global Talent Visa in the field of digital technology. What is important though is that if every single product manager was to qualify, then every product manager that wanted to move will move immediately. So don't forget what I said at the beginning, which is the fact that you need to show how in your field, if I put 10 product managers out together, you are number one or maybe number two maximum. Also, if you are working for an organization and you are putting together your evidence, you need to show your own contribution to that organization, right? I'm running out of time, so I'm just saying some of the points I was going to make because I don't think I'll be able to run through everything I had planned to talk about. You need to be able to show that, oh, these are some of the things that I have done, not that we have done. Because if you're saying we have done, they are all of a sudden not sure. Were you the main player or were you a supporting player? Right? And think about it. All of the things I've explained so far, could you drop in the chat? Who are they looking for the UK Global Talent Visa? Could you drop that in the chat? Is it the main player or the supporting players? Who are they looking for the UK Global Talent Visa? Please drop that in the chat. I would like to know if you're listening to me as well. Now, the next question would then be, how do I show that I am a leading talent in the field? I talked about two criteria. I talked about the fact that there are two parts to it, either exceptional talent or exceptional promise. Exceptional talent is that you're already a leader in your relevant field. Exceptional promise is you're a potential leader in your relevant field. Now, if you're exceptional, if you have more than 5 years of experience in the field of technology, you will automatically be assessed as exceptional talent. So there's a cap to to how many years of experience you can have to be assessed as exceptional promise. That's the one where you have the potential of being a leading talent. So if you have crossed the 5-year mark in terms of number of years of experience in the field of technology, then you would no longer qualify to be assessed as exceptional promise. But if, for example, what it is that you've been a lawyer for 10 years, then you switch to legal tech in your 11th year of work experience generally, right? And then you're on your 13th year of general work experience, but 3 years in the field of technology, you would qualify as exceptional promise, right? Hopefully, I've not confused you. So the bar is 5 years in the field of technology, not 5 years of experience in total, but 5 years in the field of technology. Now, in terms of the criteria, there are 5 key criteria that you need to, that are available for you either as exceptional talent or as exceptional promise. Now, of those 5 criteria, you have to meet 3. You must be endorsed under 3 of those criteria. Now, that's the reason why you may see, for some of us that have been researching it, you will see people saying MC1, OC1, OC2, OC3. Don't worry, I'm about to break it down for you at this point. Right. So there are 5 criteria in total, but you need to qualify under 3 of those 5 criteria. Now, before a few years back, there used to be 6 criteria because they changed the guideline regularly. So please make sure that when you are researching and when you are doing your own research, make sure you are using the latest guideline. There were not many changes in 2023, and the reason for that is because Technation itself went through restructuring. So some of us, and I've still had coaching sessions with people that said, oh, Technation visa, I thought it has stopped. No, it hasn't stopped. All that happened is that the ownership of Technation changed. So they did announce they were going to shut down as a business, but eventually they were bought over by a different company called Founders Factory. They are still keeping the brand Technation till further notice. There will still be some changes, but as at this moment, the Technation visa exists as the name, but it now belongs to Founders Factory rather than it belonging to Technation as a company as it used to do before 2023. That's what has changed in terms of ownership. So the visa itself is still available. You can still apply. We still have many endorsements. We've had many, and there will still be many more. But the visa guideline also changes very often. So one of the things you want to do is that if you believe that you do qualify, start your application process now. Don't wait till when the visa guideline itself has changed against you. Right? In some cases, the guideline may change and it may change for you, but it may also change against you. And why I'm saying that is because it is getting harder to be able to land the endorsement. Now, it is not hard. I didn't say it is hard to land the endorsement. It's just getting harder. And the reason is because Technation, the Home Office, they've seen people trying to game the system. And so based on that, they are now stricter on different things and different requirements for the visa. The requirements itself hasn't changed like that in those cases, but they are just stricter. Right. But then they also make changes to the requirement itself. And so if you check the Technation Visa Guide, which is the page I've been showing for the last few minutes or so, you will see that at the bottom of the page, you will see that different versions exist. Now, the reason why I came to that is the fact that a few years back, there was a criteria that a lot of people used that they have removed, which is continuous learning. That is no longer a criteria you can use for your application. So in case you are looking at some guides that still has that, it is old. That one has been removed. Now, continuous learning was that, oh, you've done Udemy course, you've done Coursera course, you put all the courses you've done together and you have ticked one of the 3 criteria that you needed to meet. That no longer is available. So this is the current guide as at today. Number 1 is the mandatory criteria, MC1, is that you must show that you're a leading talent in the field of digital technology. And they don't want has-beens, people that were leaders 10 years ago. They want you to show in the last 5 years. So what that means is that you cannot say, oh, I won an award in 2010. And then that award I won in 2010 is what I'm going to present to say I am a leading talent in this year. It is too old. If any evidence that you're putting together, if it's older than 5 years, don't bother. Also, evidence that you have that is recent, maybe 1 month, 2 months, don't prioritize those evidence. You can put 1 or 2 if that's all you have, but don't prioritize it because it is too recent. The visa is looking for you to show a track record over a period of time. And so track record means that you are showing different things you've done over the last 5 years that shows and qualifies you as exceptional talent or as exceptional promise. So MC1 is the first criteria. Now, if you go to the Technation visa guide, there are detailed descriptions of the different documentary evidence that you can use to show these criteria. When you are putting together your application, what we advise you to do is that, like I said, you need to qualify under 3 criteria. We advise you to put 3 documents for MC1. If you are then 3, share the 7 other documents between the 2 other optional criteria that you would be using. Or you can do 4 documents under MC1, share the other 6 documents across the other criteria that you would be using and applying on that. What do I mean by 10 evidence? It's also in the guide. When you are applying for the visa, what you have to do is that you are submitting 10 pieces of evidence. You are submitting your CV. You are submitting the link to your LinkedIn profile. You are submitting your personal statement. And then you are submitting 3 recommendation letters from people who themselves must be leaders in the field of digital technology. So those are 15 documents in total that you are submitting. Right. Now, 10 of those documents are documentary evidences. The other 5 are just those, right? Now, what we typically advise is that when you are putting together your application, start with your documentary evidence before you write your letter or before you write your personal statement. This is the reason. It is because the first thing that they will look at is your personal statements, your LinkedIn, your CV. Those are the first things they will look at and then they are going to look at the recommendation letters from your recommenders. Now, in the ideal world, if it was possible that nobody lies at all in this world, that's all they should need for them to be able to take a decision. This person is qualified, this person is not qualified. But because people can lie, people can garnish their image, that's why you then need to show documentary evidence that is showing that, oh, all these things I've claimed in my letters and all these things that the leaders in tech have said about me, all of it is true. So you are showing different evidence showing that these things are true. Now, why are we saying write those letters last? It's because based on the evidence that you do have, you want to be able to qualify and explain why this evidence makes you globally attractive. And so if you go to your recommenders and they're writing a letter for you, it may become generic because they write a number of claims that you don't have evidence for. Assessor may not believe you, right? You're writing your personal statement, but then you're not backing it up with evidence. Assessor may not believe you. And so that's why we say, take a look at the evidence you have first, and then over a period of time, you can now build a case and write your personal statement, get your recommenders to write the recommendation letters based on that information. I was talking about the criteria. Then there's OC1. OC1 is innovation. You need to show either, and there are 4 optional criteria. You want to show proof of innovation, which is OC1, or you want to show proof of recognition, or you want to show proof that you've made significant impact or contribution in your organization, in the product-led organization that you work in, or you want to show academic excellence. Of those 4 that I've just mentioned, you only need to choose 2 of those 4 that I have just mentioned. Now, which 2 you choose will be determined by you and your career trajectory and the kinds of things that you have done and the ones where you have the strongest evidence. So for example, if you are somebody that have attended quite a number of tech events, you've spoken on the main stage of those tech events, you've done a lot of things in terms of mentoring, you've gotten awards and all, and you have evidence of all of those things, then recognition is likely one of the things that you want to use one of the two criteria, optional criteria that you want to use. But then if you're somebody that, oh, you've done a lot of innovation, you built an innovative startup, your startup has even been funded, your startup has won awards because of innovation, you have a patent for some of the technology that you have built, then you are probably trying to look at using innovation, right? Or you are somebody that you've done millions and billions of dollars of revenue, or you've done millions of people. If you are using the criteria significant contribution, you must show numbers. So please, if you are putting your evidence together, if you are using this criteria, OC3, ensure that you show numbers. It could be number of people that were impacted. It could be amount of money made. It could be amount of percentage increase in efficiency. It doesn't matter what the numbers are. But if you are showing significant contributions, you need to show a number to say it was 0, now it is 100. It was 1 million, now it is 1 billion. It was, so please bear that in mind. And then, of course, OC4 is optional criteria 4 is about academic excellence, academic contribution. So if you have a PhD, you've probably done some work in academics, but then they're interested in things like citations of how many people have actually cited your work and so on. Now, these are the criteria. And of course, for leading talent and exceptional promise, the criteria is similar, just that what they are saying in your case for exceptional promise is that you are showing that you've made those contributions, but not at the level of leading talent. The last thing I will say on this page, and Moody, I know I've run out of time, but just give me a few more minutes. Right. The last thing I would say is that, and on this page, that is that for every one of these criteria, you will find on this same guide. And this page I'm showing, if you simply Google Technation Visa Guide, you will find this page that I'm showing you right now. We advise you to read this page twice. First time, read it like a storybook. Just read it to just get general information about what they are saying. Read it to understand a bit more about some of the things I've said and so on. But then read it a second time. The second time you read it with a pen and paper. Because what you want to do is that is asking you, have you led a digital growth technology before? You want to be able to know that, oh, these are the things I've done that qualifies under that. Have you received national or internationally recognized awards or prizes before? You want to note down, these are some of the things that I've done. You were nominated for something and so on. You want to note down all of those kind of things. And it gives a lot of different examples. You will notice that it also gives examples of outside your day-to-day work. It gives examples of outside your day-to-day work. Have you done some things, right? And so depending on your career, depending on the things that you have done, you want to be able to show that, oh, some of these things I did, I was paid for them, right? And I was earning a very high salary in the field of technology. Or you may want to show that, oh, some of these things I did them on a voluntary basis, because that then qualifies as outside your day-to-day work. Right. And so it's important for you to be able to make those distinctions in terms of what is this application, what is this document I'm submitting, and what criteria am I submitting this document against. You can no longer use the same document for multiple criteria. It used to be something you could do before, but you can no longer do that. But if I'm using that document, be clear. If I'm using it to show impact, it must show numbers. If I'm using it to show innovation, then make sure that the innovative aspect of it shows why you think it is innovative and all. Now, if you go to other optional criteria, you will see that it also gives a lot of different options in terms of what have you done. So part of innovation can be, if you run a startup, you can use the audited statement of your startup, right? Or the management account, the unaudited statement could also be used. In terms of you showing some of the things that has happened, in terms of people that have used your technology and so on. And so it goes on and on and on. What I would like to, and in rounding up, and I know that Moody is about to get me off anyway, right? In rounding up, what I would say is that there's a lot of information about the Technation visa. We've done a lot of videos as well in terms of from us, from an eMigr8 platform perspective. We've brought a number of our success stories on this platform where they shared magnanimously, they shared their time back to the community, sharing to say, oh, I'm a digital marketer. This is the kinds of documents I submitted for me to qualify. I'm a software developer. These are the kinds of documents I submitted to qualify. This is what I did. This is who I used as my recommender. This is who I used as my one of my recommenders and all. For recommenders, please ensure that your recommenders are talking about you from 3 different perspectives. So automatically, you can't say you want the CEO, CMO, and CTO of the same organization to write about you. All of them are going to say the same thing about you. You want to make sure your recommenders are talking about you from 3 different perspectives. One person is saying, oh, I knew this person from the context of work, was my employee, and this was a superstar employee. Somebody else could say, oh, I knew this person as in context of the ecosystem, and this person was a fantastic person that built a particular ecosystem or helped us to do something. Somebody else can say, I know this person from the context of this person mentored us, and our startup, see where we are now in terms of our startup, or this person was an advisor to us, and so on. Key point is that make sure that the different people are talking from different perspectives. All of them saying the same thing. This person is globally attractive. That's important, right, in terms of your recommenders. Now, there are resources available to help you in your journey, right? Many of the resources are available at no cost to you. And of course, we've talked about the eMigr8 Open Day, this session you are on right now. And we've talked about our eMigr8 community, which is also available to you. And multiple eMigr8 coaches are in that community and they answer questions. They are sharing their time. We want to help, we are limited by time. They're sharing their time. Now, there's also other resources. One of the ones I wanted to show in this session today is the Discourse channel. Now, this Discourse channel is run by visa alumni who are also sharing their time to say, we've gotten the visa, and then different people are able to ask questions and all of that. And so you would find in there different resources. Some of them would be people saying, oh, this is the kinds of evidence I want to use to submit. What do you think? And then different people are able to give feedback. I also contribute on this channel, are able to give feedback to say, oh, yes, this makes sense. This doesn't make sense. This doesn't work, and so on. This is useful resource that you may be able to use. You will see different people talking from different perspectives. You will see people saying, oh, I applied, I got rejected, and then I applied again and I got endorsed. Most of our clients usually would have applied by themselves. That's those that the premium service, and then because they didn't get endorsed, then they then look for a premium service. But the point is that there's a lot of resources available for you if you are doing the journey by yourself. Look for help, seek for help, and that's what I wanted to show here. I also wanted to show, if my laptop allows me, I also wanted to show some of the reasons for rejection. I also wanted to show some of the reasons for rejection, because believe it or not, the rejection rate for when people apply is high, is over 50%, right? On the eMigr8 platform, our success rate is 95%, so we're excited, but the rejection rate generally is over 50%. And the reason for that is because some people just don't qualify and they apply. But then a lot more of other people, they actually qualify, but they don't tell their story in the way that shows that I am qualified for this visa, right? And this is one of the examples of that I'm showing on the screen at the moment. Now, I've shared a lot of information as regards the UK Global Talent Visa, a lot of information about what you should do. First of all, don't write yourself off. If you feel like you don't qualify today, do not write yourself off, because what they've done is that they've given you, this is what they want your profile to meet. So if you do an assessment of your profile and you feel like there are some gaps, then you can start filling those gaps. For example, mentoring, if you need to mentor on a structured platform, if that's one of the gaps, right? The Beacon mentoring platform is available for you. And there are several other mentoring platforms out there as well. But the key point is that do not write yourself off to say, oh, because I don't qualify today, that means that I will never qualify. That's one of the things that we are trying to make sure our community realizes. But then don't just sit there as well that, oh, you don't qualify today, and then you don't do anything about it. You don't add to the things that you've done before. You don't make yourself some sort of roadmap to say, these are the things I'm going to do to block the gaps, right? Don't be that person. Don't be that person that will be back 1 year's time. We know some people in the community, every year they come, they do nothing, then they come again in January. I think January because the New Year resolution, right? Then they come again. Don't be that person. Make sure that you make a plan from day one. Make it today and say that, oh, these are all the things that are gaps. Remember, I said take a pen and paper and then be able to write, these are the gaps. And then you start making a plan to fill it, making a plan
Okay.
to deal with it.
Time, time,
Also,
time, time, time.
yeah, also, if you're already qualified, right? Fantastic and congratulations. Don't take it and don't leave it till too late to start your application process, right? But then make sure that you are telling your story in the way where the assessor will see clearly this person is qualified. And I would rest there. Hopefully, we have questions and then we'll
Yeah.
take
I,
questions
I,
and
was- I
then
was going I was going to say that there are questions that highlight some of the gap that you're talking about that would give us opportunity or give you an opportunity to explain further. So that's why I was really trying to get you to round up. Right. So, all right. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for taking time to go through a very detailed presentation, if I can call it presentation, but it was more of an expose of the Technation guide, right? And taking it so for every beginner in the room and for intermediate people or somebody that's looking at it for the first time, this is actually an amazing session. It's a session that you want to go back to listen again and again, just to get some of the things that Buddy said. He said a lot of things, right? And some people that asked questions in the beginning, I'm sure some of their questions have been answered, right? So one of the first questions we got was somebody asked, can a skincare manufacturer be a tech product? No, can a skincare manufacturer with a tech product which empowers people to become a distributor apply for global talent visa? Right? You know, so we need more context in that. I wanted to say to be able to answer
yeah.
that question effectively. These are the kind of questions we want to take to the community because we need to look at the uniqueness around your circumstances. Are you building a tech logistic company? Or are you building a skincare product? So skincare product is not a tech program. It's not a tech product. The logistic
No,
company might be a tech product. So we have to look at that um, to be
from
able
that
to answer
perspective.
you.
So
Yeah.
it needs to qualify as product-led digital technology. So you
Yeah.
can't say because I built a website to sell skincare products, in a product-led digital technology. That is not true, right?
Mm.
However, if what you built is a product that multiple skincare companies can use to sell skincare product, meaning you have some sort of innovation that the regular e-commerce platforms don't have, and so on, then
Mm.
that could be a product. And of course, and those are the kinds of things that you have to take a look at from that perspective.
All right, fantastic. The second question we have is so I'm just going to sorry guys, we're in the Q&A session, and so I'm just going to dive in because of time. I'm a front-end engineer with 2 years of professional experience. How can I build good profile um for getting a job and relocating to the UK or the US? Now, so, but do you want to look at that for a front end engineer is looking for a job or
Yeah.
looking to relocate? How do I build a good profile?
Yeah, so I'll answer the question in 2 points. So I thought the person was saying, how do I get the global talent visa?
Um,
Right, but I'll answer that because that's what I thought the question was initially. Then I'll come to the job question secondly. For the global talent visa, that would not be enough. What you then need to be able to show is all those criteria, how you meet it as well. Are you a leading talent in your field? Do you have innovation? Have you built an innovation and you contributed to that innovation? That's OC1. Have you done recognition? Have you been recognized for your work? work either by award, invitation to speak in the main stage of events, and those events must have more than 100 people. There's a number now that's been written because some people were showing events where they gather people in their sitting room. I know somebody that used a church program as their evidence. Right. So they've tightened the belt basically on all of that. Then impact, then of course academic excellence as well. Now you were talking about jobs, about getting a job. There are many things you should be doing as well. This session is not the one we are using to focus on getting a job, right? We have a session we've done called the landing a tech job in the UK tech ecosystem. We spend 1.5 hours giving a number of tips around you being able to land a job from your own economy that will come with a certificate of sponsorship for you to move to the UK. So we've done that for the UK, we've done that for Germany, right? And we'll be doing a lot more of those kinds of sessions as well. So there are many tips along those lines: optimizing your LinkedIn profile, making sure you are visible to technical recruiters, making sure that you are qualified yourself as a specialist, right? A number of times in many developing economies, they hire generalists. So you are UI, you are UX, you are graphics designer. In developed economies, they are looking for specialists. They will give you tests to show that you are a specialist, and you need to be able to pass those tests as well. There are multiple stages, and for each one of those stages, there are things that you need to be able to do. So what I advise is that you can start from that open day video, you can watch the replay video, and then you can speak with one of the coaches that focuses on helping you land a tech job using our tech career coaching service.
All right, thank you. Thank you. That's very detailed. That's very good. And someone is asking, and I'm just going to go through this question. It's not a question, but I'm just going to go through this very fast. Some of us are interested but don't have money. What can you do to help us? I would say join the community and you can find something to do that can help you move your application forward. Just join the community. Um, how
Can
can
I just
one
add to that to say 90% of what we do on the eMigr8 platform,
free? It's
we
free.
do for free.
Yeah,
90.
that's why I said join the community. You can get a lot of free stuff in the community. How can one switch from UK student visa to talent visa? I think this is a very broad question. How can one switch from a UK study visa to a talent visa? I think Buddy has gone through steps to switch to a talent visa in this session, but I don't know. But did you want to speak to
So
this
you
briefly?
need to be qualified for the talent visa. That's the key thing. So whether you are already in the UK on a pathway that doesn't have settlement, even a pathway with settlement like the skilled worker visa, or you are not in the UK and you are in your home country, it doesn't matter. The key thing is that you must be qualified under the criteria as we've just explained. So the key focus, your key question should really be, am I qualified based on all of these criteria, or am I on the pathway of being qualified, and am I doing the things needed for me to be qualified at the shortest possible time? They really don't care if you're a student or not. They use it for statistics and all, if you are switching or you are moving into the economy, right? But the key thing is that, are you a leading talent or aspiring talent in the field of technology?
Yeah, I think the next question also ties into the answer you just gave. How can Scrum Master with certification in SMC, the Scrum Master certification, qualify for UK Tech visa, please? So that's the same.
I think it's the same answer, so
That's
let's
that's
move
the
on
same
to the
answer.
question.
So let's not go over that. Just make sure you are qualified. Um, I'm a professional photographer in Nigeria, and this is my first time on mm, of being in this program, I guess. Very interesting. Thank you for the compliment. Looking for question. So for people who focus on human capital development in tech, what is the metrics the technician uses to measure qualification? I think there's general metric, general criteria. So when you say you are focused on human capital development in tech, we'll need to unpack that. Right? Is that services? Is that a product? Because they are focused on product-led digital technology.
Technology. So if you are the HR manager of a product-led digital technology, you are qualified. So when I was talking earlier, I showed you that non-technical skills in a technical organization is eligible, right? So if you are HR manager and all, but if you're an HR consultant, consulting for multiple organizations, even though they're all tech, you will likely not qualify.
Yeah, I was going to put that caveat. If it's services and consultancy, you might likely not qualify. But if it's a product, yeah. What about system engineer or system administrators? I think those are, well,
Yeah, so it's still the same answer
yeah.
as well. However, with the system administrator, it will be difficult for you to show how you're a leading talent, right? I would ask you to start looking at things like cloud engineering, SysOps, DevOps, SRE. Hopefully, you know all of these words I've said just now. I'll be asking you to possibly upgrade yourself along those lines, right? Because you need to show innovation and all of those kind of things. As a system engineer that you're just installing Windows and uninstalling Windows, you're unlikely to qualify. But then if you tell me you're a data center engineer, you are installing data centers, then they are looking for you globally, for your skill globally. So just take a look at it from what I've just said. And if you can book a coaching session if you want to speak more about that, depending on your level.
Okay, the next question says, what if one is working with a US company? Again, contest, right? Well, if you are working in a US company, are you in the US, right? This is a visa that focuses on migrating you to the UK, right? And once you qualify for the visa, whether you're in Australia or in Canada or in the US, you are qualified. So again, contest will allow us unpack that. But you can join the community and ask your specific question, and we can drill down to the uniqueness of your circumstance.
Let me just add to that one as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're working remotely from Africa, you are hired as a consultant. So if you're hired as a consultant, it would be difficult for you to qualify. If you're hired as a full-time employee, regardless of where you are in the world, then of course. But if you are hired as a consultant, that would be a challenge, right? Part of what we do for some people we coach for is that they are able to start building their own startup by the side, right? And then with that, their startup, because that startup is gaining traction, then they can use the startup as their main, the main application object that they are using, and then multiple other things can be added to say, oh, I also earn air, I also do this, and I also do these other things.
All right. I was just going to say that's why we talked about Bincom Labs by Bincom, which give you an opportunity to build a startup. So if you're in that category, you work for services or consultant, I will just say it again. We have a platform called Labs by Bincom that allows you build a digital-led product with a team from scratch, and you can use that as part of your application criteria to meet one of your criteria. Right. Um, I'm looking for the questions. Guys, where are all the questions? Between the Global Talent Visa and Innovator Founder Visa, which leads to the quickest path to UK settlement? Which of them leads to the quickest path?
Both of them has the same number of years, right, to settlement, but Global Talent Visa first before Innovator Founder Visa. Simple reason. When you are trying to settle with Global Talent Visa, you only need to show that you've earned £1 in the UK digital economy, basically. With the Innovator Founder Visa, if you're trying to settle, there are about 6 or 7 criteria. You need to pick 2 or 3. But in my local parlance, in Nigeria where I am, right, in my local parlance, your startup must blow, right, for you to be able to settle on the Innovator Founder Visa. So, of course, Global Talent Visa, because you can settle with just earning just £1, right? You just need to earn money and show that you've earned money in the UK digital economy.
Yeah. I was going to say that local balance, I don't think it's local anymore. I think that word has crossed over now. I think it's a global trend, right? So does my period of internship, interesting. I didn't see this coming. Does my period of internship count as number of years of experience, or I should not count it with years of experience?
Don't count it, but don't hide it either, right? Don't have gaps in your CV, because if you have gaps in your CV, there will be more questions, right? What you are able to explain is that that internship is part of your regular study, right? So you were in school and then you had to go for internship and you came out of internship. So you can start counting from when you graduated, make sure that when you are submitting your CV, there are no gaps in your CVs as well. So there were people that were able to get the Global Talent Exceptional Promise by removing some of the experience. So even though they had 7 years of experience, they removed some experience and then they were able to get it. But that the era has passed because the endorsers are now familiar with the fact that people have done that, people do that. They now check, do you have gaps in your CV? And if you do have gaps, then they know yeah.
All right. Like I said, I didn't see internship coming, but I like the way you answered that. Don't leave gap in your CV. It's quite important. So you want to highlight that also. As your learning curve, maybe about the fact that you invested time in researching or learning about a particular skill set. If you get endorsed and finally your visa, what guarantee do you have to get a job as soon as possible? I think the key word here is as soon as possible. And if you get endorsed, so I think this is focused on the UK because it didn't specify the yeah.
Yeah, so I mentioned an open day we've done recently. You also want to go watch that same open day. The difference between you and somebody that doesn't yet have that global talent visa is only the fact that you don't need certificate or sponsorship to be able to work for the company. Right. There are many jobs available in the UK. There are over 100,000 roles that they have not filled by the last statistics that they brought out, I think about 6 months ago or so. 100,000 roles. You only need one of those roles, just one, right? There are strategies there's a method to the madness, right? There are some things you want to do. There are ways you want to be able to project your profile. And clearly, if you are a global talent, it will be easier for you. I didn't say easy. It will be easier for you because you are not looking for a job that comes with a certificate or sponsorship. So the jobs are there, and there are ways in which you can optimize yourself to land the job. And there are people that land their jobs before they even move from their own country to the UK as well.
All right, fantastic. But one of the things that we like to say here is that you need to be willing to put in the work and do your research and do your own findings. And so what we are giving you is information. You should go and do your own research, also do your own findings. And when you are unsure, you can come back, join our communities. We have coaches that can clarify those bottlenecks for you. We have links to those communities in the chat, right? So you can click on any of the links to join the community. All right, so back to the questions. For guys in data analyst role here in Nigeria, how can they build a good profile for global talent visa? So I would say this is again, it's generic, all right? So we can give you generic things to do, but I have spoken extensively on what you should be working on. I have also spoken about what we can offer you as eMigr8 and the Bincom ecosystem, right? So those are some of the things you have to, where are you on your journey? Are you a beginner? Are you an intermediate? Are you an expert? All right. And we can look at that within, a coaching session and advise what you should be doing specifically. All right. I don't know if anybody has thought on what you should be doing in general that he hasn't spoken about already today.
Yeah, so I would say number one is we've got the Bincom Global Tech Program. So if you are a beginner or you're an intermediate person in the room, it's not an eMigr8 service, but it's available for you and it helps you to build a profile towards being globally attractive as well. There are many things that are incorporated into that program. So even if you're at intermediate level skill, it could be useful for you because you will be building exposure and experience that would lead to you being globally attractive. So that's one. Number two is that you can book a coaching session, right? And we said at the beginning, you get a free coaching session. Everybody gets a free coaching session because you joined the community. And so you can book a coaching session to ask specific questions. The only thing is that please make sure you have listed out the key questions you want to ask. Don't come and ask, what is eMigr8, for example? Ask specific things that will be useful to your career. You will be making the best use of both the coach's time and your time as well. And if you wait till the end, we do have a gift for you. I'm sure Moody will talk about that at some point. Third thing is that you can also have your own self-directed roadmap to say, and as I said earlier, take a look at the Technation visa guide. They said many things, and there are many things that you can do for you to be globally attractive. Start looking at all of those things and start noting that what are some of the things I can do? Can I put myself out there more? Can I start speaking at events? You may not be called to speak at a 1,000-man event today, but it starts from somewhere. Go speak at a 5-man event. Then maybe you speak at 50, then maybe 500, then maybe 5,000. Right. The key point is that there are many things you can start doing today towards you being qualified. You need to work it out based on where you are today. And of course, there are things you've done in the past that already count. So you can continue doing those things in addition to whatever else you need to do to qualify.
I was just going to put a caveat. When you go speak for event, ask for invitation letters and ask for thank you letters when you're done speaking. Those things come in handy, right? He has a follow-up question that says, please define with example the meaning of product-led tech company, right? With examples. So I'll give you an example. I'm the product lead at Social Lender, which is a digital financial institution, and we do financial service generally. So we built an application, both a web application and a mobile application, where we interact with customers and extend to them financial services. So that is a digital product, right? Where you log into a platform, either a web platform or a mobile platform, and you're able to access financial services. The same service we extend in a digital platform, you can walk into a bank and get those services across the counter. That is a traditional service. That's not a digital service. So that is the difference. When we say a digital-led product, this is a product that you can interact with, view through any of your gadgets, your tech gadget, your device or your gadget, right? So whether your mobile phones, your laptop, your PC, and even you can take it higher, even through your API connectivity if you are that advanced, right? So those are digital products, right? And there are a lot of them across your app stores and across, anywhere you get your apps from, right? So those are digital products, and it's not limited to those experiences. Like I said, there are marketplace APIs products that you can have, and also. So that's an example, and that's the definition, I believe. Do we have that? Buddy, do you have any thought around that?
Just startup, just build a startup, basically.
No, these days a hairdressing salon can be a startup, just so.
Okay, that's true. Technology startup.
Yeah, technology startup, and there are some technology companies that are not startups. So the InterSwitches, they are no longer startups. These are now unicorns. So you want to be able to have that. So we've answered this question on internship. Which of the acceptance criteria, or which of the OC is for impact and which is for innovation?
So the OC1 is innovation,
Hmm.
OC2 is recognition, OC3 is significant contribution or impact, OC4 is academic excellence, academic contribution. Right. So those are the 4 optional criteria. And then the one mandatory criteria at this point, MC1, is that you are a leading talent in your field.
Right. And I would just say, Barry did an extensive work going through the technation.io site. Please, you want to go to that site and study it for yourself also to get familiar with some of these terms and what they mean and what they're asking for. Right. So please, next question, please. I would like to know what you mean by being a leading talent in one work's area. Kindly explain.
We've covered that, but if you
Yeah,
go to the Technation visa guide, just go to the mandatory criteria. There's about a 2-page
description.
that gives you about 20 to 30 different items to say this is how you can be the leading talent. So go look at that. But I also spoke a bit about that during my session.
Does UK talent visa allows for dependent? Someone has answered you. The answer is yes. It does allow for you to move with your dependents. It's very family friendly, right? Do you run premium service where you guide interested person? If yes, what's the cost?
You
Right?
can check for the cost on the pricing page. So if you go to beamcom.net/emigrate, you would see when you fill that form, you get a mail from us One of the mail has a number of our resources. Many of them are free, but then you get the link to the pricing page as well. In terms of what you need, however, we usually will recommend that book a free coaching session first. Usually, the free ones are short coaching sessions. Book that first, and then you can discuss with a coach what you actually need. And then they can recommend either a service or a package for you based on what you need.
All right. I think this is a cloud engineer. I say I'm struggling to put the evidence together as a cloud engineer, stroke solution architect, stroke cybersecurity engineer. So he is struggling or she is struggling. The question I will ask is, are you in our communities? Do you want to speak to a coach to help you sort of unpack why you're struggling or what you need to have? Because I see a lot here. You are a cloud engineer, a solution architect, a security expert engineer. We need to know what exactly are you putting forward, and what are the criteria you have, the mandatory criteria and the optional criteria, right? So that we cannot address specifically this in a general session. That's what I'm saying. Get in the community, ask for a coaching session, and we can unpack this on your depending on your uniqueness, right?
Yeah. So something I want to say though, which is useful for everybody else, is that it is going to be very difficult to prove that you're a leading talent in cybersecurity. You're a leading talent cloud engineer, and you're also a leading talent. I can't remember the third one that you said.
Solution architect.
Yeah, the West focuses on people being specialists. So it will be very difficult for you to convince the assessor to say, oh, all of a sudden I'm a leading. It's possible. I'm not saying maybe you are, but maybe you want to pick which one are you strongest at, and then build your evidence from the fact that, oh, these are the things I've done in this career track that makes me the top of my field.
Yep. Thank you. If one wants to join your team as part of development team to build a product or part of a project, last by Bincom, blast by Bincom, bincom.net/lab by Bincom is where you want to go to register, and you can be a part of a development team to build a product. Does the recommendation letter have to be in company's letter-headed paper? And does the person have to be in an executive role?
The former criteria required letter-headed paper. But if you go check the current criteria, they've now said they didn't say, there's a wording they've used where it's not compulsory anymore, basically, right? It's still desirable if they can use letter-headed paper, but Technation is also aware that some senior executives in their organization cannot use their letter-headed paper just anyhow and all. So they've reduced any focus on that particular criteria. Must they be an executive? They must be a leader in the field of technology, right? So preferably senior executive within their organization, preferably. But as long as they're able to show how they are a leader themselves in the field of technology, because the way it works is that 3 leaders in technology that have known your work for 1 year minimum, that's also part of the requirement now. They must show how they've known your work for at least 1 year. 3 of them are pointing to you to say this person is a potential talent in the field. Then the assessor is paying attention because these people are saying so. But because some people have also been faking recommendation letters, sometimes now they call those recommenders just to confirm, did you write this letter? Did you sign this letter?
Yeah. All right. So we have a startup question, right? Patiently looking at the time. My startup just launched in the UK, hence I have to be in both countries. Is there a minimum stay period within a year in the UK to be eligible for ILR under Global Talent Visa, exceptional talents?
It's 6 months. You need to be tax resident in the UK, meaning you must be in the UK at least 6 months a year. But if you are targeting getting the British passport, then you need to target being in the UK minimum of 9 months a year. And we can unpack that a bit more if you want to privately.
How can we book a session? I like that question. I'm going to answer that question very soon. Just hang on. right? So you should join the community and just let them know in the community that you want to book a session, and somebody will speak with you. Take it from there. It's easy, right? If Next question, if you want to join, if you want to join if one wants to join your team as part of the, I think we've answered this question. Become all right. First, all right, we answered that question. Can the recommendation letter come from an individual in the same companies? Come from individuals in the same company?
You can have one individual in your current company, but don't do more than one person in that current company. Find leaders in other places to also recommend you.
All right, fantastic. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the questions. Keep our time is fast spent. So for being here at this time, we'd have a gift for you, but you need one more step to get the gift. The gift is that you're now eligible for a free coaching session, a free inquiry coaching session. So I would advise you use that coaching session well. Don't come and ask us, how can I apply? Ask intelligent question. I like to say be brief and brilliant when you're asking those questions because the time is very short. Right. But the next action you need to do is that you need to redeem that. You need to be part of the community. So you need to join either the Telegram community, the LinkedIn community, or the WhatsApp community at this point. And when you get in those communities, say I was in the January 17th open day edition, and that's your ticket to getting your first session with a coach, right? So somebody asks, how can I book a session? That is a free session that you should take advantage of, and subsequent sessions will be on you. This first one is on the house, right? So congratulations for all those that are still on the call. Just 26 of us won that. So I'll put a mark on that. Once it's past 26, we don't know the next person, right? So thank you very much, guys, for your time. This has gone way ahead.
Yeah, there are three quick things I needed to do. So if you permit me,
all right,
try
go ahead. Yeah.
Things. First is I was supposed to talk about settle in the UK as a tech talent.
Yeah.
Second was the question. There was a question that I was asked to answer on this session, but it's long, so I will write the answer and then post in the community. And then the third is just to speak to the five different categories of people that are typically in the eMigr8 community. So I'll go with the first one. So we've spoken a bit and a lot around the UK Global Talent Visa at this point, but we want to also just mention that we do have other visa opportunities that are also under the bouquet of the Tech Talent Visa. One of that is our Settle in the UK as a Tech Talent. For this particular package, what it does is it actually targets 3 different visa opportunities in the UK at the same time for you, right? So we target the UK Global Talent. We spoke extensively about it on this call. The UK Skilled Worker Visa, which means that you land a job that gives you sponsorship, and then the UK Innovator Founder Visa, which means that you are building a startup in the UK. But with this particular package, we're actually offering an eMigr8 triple guarantee on that particular package. And so it's a settle in the UK as a tech talent. We've done an extensive open day as well. It's 1 hour, 30 minutes. Actually, it was 2 hours, describing this package and explaining what it is that you get and why it works and so on. And so we encourage you to go take a look at that if you're interested. You would need to have a bit of time, at least 3 months to 6 months available as regards the package. You need an investment budget for that package. And also it's a package where you can use to switch visa if you wanted to do a switch. So that's something that we wanted to just talk about. What eMigr8 would do is to walk you through the entire journey, right? We're going to enroll you, we're going to invest in you, and so on, for you to get the eMigr8 guarantee that we are talking about. So that's one of the 3 things. For the question from the community, please, if your questions were not answered, please let us know in the community. and we will answer as many of them as possible. There's at least one coach in every one of our eMigr8 communities. What that means is that a coach will be able to answer your question, and other members of the community are also able to offer their insights and also suggestions as well as regards those questions that you may have had. So apologies if we could not take all your questions today. Please ask them again in the community, and then we'll take it from there and answer all of them or as many of them as possible. Right. And then just to speak to the 5 category of the audience that we have within the eMigr8 platform. The first are beginners. You're just starting your journey in the field of technology. Know the fact that these are the things that they're asking your profile to look like today, right? You have the answer sheet and question paper to say in a year's time, in 2 years' time, we believe maximum 2 years from 0 to global talent, exceptional promise, not talent, or exceptional promise, not exceptional talent, just to be clear, right? Within 2 years, you can achieve it, right? 1 to 2 years, you can achieve it. But there are many things that you must be doing every day for you to get there. And so the question is that, have you built that self-directed roadmap? Do you know exactly what you need to do? Do you know what your next steps are? And so on. And we do have different programs and coaching services and all of that that can help you. Some of them for free, some of them are paid. Second thing is for intermediate people in the field of tech. You have 3 years, 5 years, 6 years experience in the field of technology. The key thing you want to do is do an assessment of your profile at this point. You may already be qualified based on the things that we've just talked about. But then in case you are not yet qualified, you would probably want to be able to see, oh, what do I need to do in addition to the things that they've said, the things I already have for me to be qualified for these opportunities that are available. Category 3, advanced people in the field of technology. You are probably qualified for one tech talent visa or the other. If you're working in consulting, you may not, if you've only been a consultant all your life, you may not be qualified for the UK Global Talent Visa, but there are visa opportunities available for you as well because you are an advanced person, globally attractive in the field of technology. And so explore your option. We've put together the Tech Visa Landscape document. It's an extensive document that tries to talk about different visa opportunities. And we couldn't even exhaust all of them, but then the team did a lot of work and a lot of research there. That may be a good place to start. That's also free to you. But then we can also discuss much more with any one of the coaches. That's category 3. Category 4, you are in the UK, since we are talking about the UK today, but you are not on a pathway to settlement. The same requirement for people not yet in the UK is the same requirement for you. What you want to do is to make sure that you don't wait till when you have 3 months left on your visa before you start planning how to switch. Start planning 1 year away. Start planning 2 years away, depending on what visa opportunity you are on. Start building the things that you need to do because building a track record takes time. And so don't wait till when you have 1 month left and all of that. We get a few of those in the community, and it's really difficult except you are already qualified. And then what we are doing is just making sure we show you as qualified. But if you are not qualified at all, we are not asking you to fake it or anything like that. We are helping on this platform that because you are globally attractive, you have options. Category 5, you are ready to apply for this visa opportunity. We are here to help, is what we would say to you. We start for free, like we mentioned. We want to help. We are limited by time. Take advantage of as much help as is available to you for you to start the journey. Don't wait till it's too late as well. Don't wait till when things have changed and requirements have changed. Don't wait to say, oh, I will get to it eventually. There are visa opportunities that existed 1 year ago today that no longer exist today. UK Startup Visa, UK Innovator Visa. Those visa opportunities no longer exist today. Now there's the UK Innovator Founder Visa. Right. Don't wait till when things have changed in such a way that the things that you could have used, and don't wait till when time has gone, because some awards that you won 6 years ago no longer can be used. Speaking engagement that you used 6 years ago cannot be used. You need to use the things now. So make hay while the sun shines, basically, is what we're saying. And generally speaking, if you are globally attractive, you would have options. What we try to do on the eMigr8 platform is to help you become globally attractive. And those are my final words. Back to you. Moody.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, buddy. Thank you for giving me just 2 minutes to say goodbye. Thank you very much for such an amazing time today and for taking us through the Technation and understanding the Technation guide and understanding the UK as it were, moving to the UK as it were. So for everyone still on the call, thank you very much. Right. So if you're interested in knowing more, if you're interested in having a private conversation with regards to what we've talked about today, or with regards to any visa opportunity, the numbers on the screen at the moment is what you want to send a message to on WhatsApp, and we can take, for example, a premium user. You want to know more, you want to have a private conversation, you need slightly more than a 30-minute coaching session, and you want to be able to unpack, please send WhatsApp messages or call the numbers on your screen, and we will be at the other end to receive your calls and to put you through or answer any question you may have. For every other person who is on the call till this point, you have just won yourself a free coaching session, right? It's a brief 30 minutes coaching session with a coach, right? All you need to do is to join any of our community and say, I was present at the January 17th open day, and you redeem your coaching session. It's a 30 minutes coaching session. I advise you be brief and brilliant with your questions so that you get the most out of that session, right? And that might just be your beginning, your first step towards your journey to relocation. Like Buddy said, and like I've said, for us at eMigr8, we're trying to make it globally attractive. We'll put you in the room with whoever you need to be in the room with. Is there either a coach or a mentor? We'll put you in the room. We'll put you in front of the resource that you need. We'll put you in front of partnership. We'll do introduction just to get you across, right? So please take advantage of these opportunities. And I advise everybody on the call to go back and watch this session again. Buddy did some really detailed work in explaining the guide to us and the steps and what are required, OC1, OC2, and the mandatory requirements. So please go back, go over them again. Send this link. The link will be on YouTube in the next 10 to 5 minutes. 10 to 15 minutes. Send this link to your friends, your network, people looking to relocate, people looking at global talent that could not make it. Send this link to them. Join the communities, like I've always said, because there's a lot more we can talk about. We're only bounded with time. We've exceeded our time today to 2 hours, right? And there's still more to talk about. So imagine what you can get in the community and being active and interactive in the community. So I can't say that enough. So be part of the community. Ask as much questions as you can. I will be there to guide you and point you in the right direction. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. We will be communicating the next edition of the eMigr8 Open Day. I'll be communicating the next edition to you through our social media portals, through the communities also. We'll be letting you know what visa opportunity will be focused on in the next edition, right? And so pay attention to that. We will be focused on that. There are several links on the chat. The Discord link was also placed on the chat. The Discord link was also placed on the chat. Abadi has just dropped some more information on the chat that you may want to take a look at. So personal coaching session, and that's paid, right? So the free session is 10 to 15 minutes. Oh, okay. Thank you very much for that correction. Right. So we have partnership, we have relationships, we have resources that we'll put in front of you to get you through to wherever you want to go to. Are you looking to relocate to the US, to relocate to Australia, Canada, to move your business? We're not just looking at relocating family. There are people that are, if you're here looking to relocate your business, you're looking for new markets, and these are the market you're looking at, maybe the French market, the Canadian market, which you can access through the Canadian startup visa, the US market, which you can access through the O1 US visa, the UK market, which you can access through the Innovator Founder visa and the Global Talent visa, right? These are opportunities that we have, and we have resources in this field that we'll share with you. We also have a campaign currently ongoing. That campaign has triple guarantee on it, where we are exposing you to 3 of this pathway at the same time focusing on relocation to the UK. So you want to take advantage of that, and you want to send a text message or an SMS, text message or a WhatsApp message to the numbers you see on the screen at the moment, and we will take the conversation further. So thank you, everyone. Till we'll we'll meet again to the next session. I would like to say have a good day and talk to you guys in the community. Thank you. Have a good day, guys.